All right, guys, welcome back to the Pulse of Willie and Al. How's it going today, brother?
Hey, not too bad. It's been brutally hot here the last few days. It's
Yes,
gonna
it
get up to
has.
98 today here. So
Whoa.
yeah, yeah. Not it's not hot, you know.
Well, and should we tell the
Uh
tell the viewers what's going to happen if it gets too hot there?
I'm gonna have to remove my shirt. I turned my AC off to record this. So if I start sweating, the shirt's coming off,
Yeah.
and well,
Or if you
I
get
think we're gonna
angry.
gain a lot of followers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
And at that point, he will
no,
be starting an OnlyFans.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna let you guys in on the surprise now. A lot of hair underneath here. A lot of hair.
yeah, keep the subscriptions rolling in.
Yeah.
Make sure you like that video. Um,
Yeah.
I think the first like's coming from Uncle Raj. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You think I'm just bald? I'm only bald here. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Everything else.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump in. Today we are back with episode 82, cruising along here. And today we're going to obviously touch on some Major League Baseball stuff, dip into some NFL stuff. But before we get going on that, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button and go ahead and like the video. And again, thank you always for your support. We appreciate it. So let's start with Major League Baseball. And the biggest hot topic that's been going on the last 2 weeks is basically this Rafael Devers trade. And I'll just, I'll kind of give you the floor on this to take it wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So a couple Sundays ago, I went home to North Adams for a graduation party, and I just happened to. I was about ready to leave, and I happened to just pull out my phone and saw that Rafael Devers had gotten traded, and I for a minute was like, no, no. He literally had just hit a homer that day. No. And then I read it, and we in fact did trade Rafael Devers for not a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kyle Harrison's like the big kind of name in all of this. Um, and it's really not a lot. Like, yeah. Um, I've kind of read everything there is to read about this in the last like week or two. And the thing that I keep coming back to, I recognize that Devers didn't handle this well. I get that. You know, he was really pissed when they signed Bregman, and then when Tristan Casas goes down for the year, they ask him if he could play first, and he's like, no. And so like I get that he handled this poorly, and I get that there wasn't like communication from Breslow to Devers. I get that. That being said, he was the last piece of from the 2018 World Series team that won 108 games, and honestly could have set us up for like multiple titles to come for years. And they're all gone now, and it just really makes me sad that the Red Sox keep. I want to choose my words here very carefully. They keep preying on the fans. I feel like they're taking advantage of the fans at this point, and how much we love this team. And the thing is like they're saving money. They're saving money, but they're not investing it in the Red Sox. And the part that like where I feel really conflicted, the Red Sox also own Liverpool FC, which is their Premier League soccer team, who I'm a massive fan of, and they've been pumping that money into like signing really good players for Liverpool FC, which is like great, but like it hurts at the same time. It's a really weirdly conflicting thing, and I just there's really no roadmap for the Red Sox. Like Sure, they have Campbell, they have Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer. Like I get that, but that's a lot to put on those guys who are fucking like not even 25 yet.
Hmm.
And we still don't have like any pitching. That's the thing. We can't have Garrett Crochet pitch every day. We can't. And it really breaks my heart that there really isn't kind of a roadmap out for this. And at this point, like respectfully, just like I want them to just fucking sell the team. Like clearly they don't care about investing in this team anymore. And I would rather have new owners that do care. Like they make money hand over foot. They do. I know how much I pay when I go to Fenway, like what I'm paying for. And you're telling me they're like crying poor? Like that's yeah, I hate it. I hate everything about it and it just bums me out.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating too when you see other teams, especially during that time, right? Like, okay, so growing up in New England, you get to see all teams from every sport win a championship, and you kind of feel like, okay, well, this is going to be the standard going forward. Is like championship every year. That's what we want, right? And like moving
Yeah.
towards that. And when that started to change, then you're like, okay, well, maybe it's not going to be a championship every year, but we should still be competitive. And it doesn't seem like
Yep.
they're actually being competitive. And it's tough when you see other teams in other markets that aren't as big as Boston pumping money into their teams and experiencing success. Like, I don't know. I mean, even looking at a market like Detroit or Atlanta, seeing that like they've got good history in those teams, but they don't have the name that Boston has, right? Or the track record, I guess, in terms of World Series as well. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's got to be super frustrating. I think there was a lot of bad press that came out about this that tried to paint him in a really bad light. Um,
Yeah, I wasn't having that. I
yeah,
Jeff Passan did a really good article for ESPN about how dysfunctional the Red Sox organization is right now. And I think it was like you didn't see many of those articles, but I'm glad that he wrote it. He
mm-hmm.
wrote one. Like,
Yeah, I get to see a lot of him. He comes on Pat McAfee quite a bit.
sure.
And
Yeah.
and they spend a good time interviewing him, like good 10-15 minute segments every time he comes on, which he's given a
Yeah.
lot of his honest opinions on there, which is really cool. It kind of cuts through the tape on that. But there was also something I read yesterday. I believe Seattle was in the mix too, with him possibly going there, and they were kind of scared off by some of the stuff that the Red Sox had told them. I wonder if it was that they were trying to basically blackball him into, hey, listen, we're not going to, uh, we're going to make it look worse than it is.
Yeah.
But what do you think he brings to the Giants? Because I know you've talked about the impact on the Red Sox organization. Do you think this is the move, the type of move that pushes them over the hump in the West there? Because it's very tight out in the West. It's a very competitive division between the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it gives the Giants like a better chance to compete at this point. Like the Giants lineup's it's pretty stacked with Chapman now. Chapman, him, Mike Yastrzemski, Wilmer Flores, like Jung Ho Lee, like they have a real lineup now.
Mm-hmm.
Their pitching is still a little suspect at times, but like they at least Buster Posey's going out there and making deals and making it happen. Like so.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to mention about Devers at all before we move on from that?
No, the other thing that I want to mention with the Red Sox is like there's something with their developmental system that like just isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to see it with Roman, all three, Campbell, Meyer, and Anthony, that like they're kind of weirdly lacking in fundamentals. Like they're they're just not there. Like they sent Campbell back down to Worcester, which is their AAA team.
Yeah.
Dude was raking like 320 in April, and then has been hitting been hitting well below the Mendoza line ever since. And yeah, like I there needs to be a complete overhaul of like their farm system and how they implement fundamentals. And again, just fucking sell the team, please. Like for the love of God, just sell the team.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate thing to feel at that point because looking at their division right now, they're not far out of being in contention
No,
there.
no, the Yankees have been free falling.
Hmm.
Tampa, I think, is like 2 out.
Yeah.
Sox, I think, are like 6 out.
Yeah,
Like
the
it's
Blue
not.
Jays are there too. They're not far out
Yeah,
either. Yeah.
yeah, and I think the part that like really hurt too was like up until that point in the last like 2 weeks, they had been playing really good baseball.
Hmm.
Like they swept the Yankees. Then they took 2 or 3 from the Yankees again. They had been playing really good baseball, and it doesn't matter to them, I guess. So
It's a head
yeah,
scratcher a little bit. Well, let's
yeah.
let's segue into New York teams, right? Because both New York teams have kind of hit a rut lately. We could start with the Yankees, right? Like as you mentioned, the Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Sox, they're all within striking distance now for the Yankees, and they've kind of been free falling. They've been, lost 7 out of their last 10, but they just haven't looked good recently. Which is kind of crazy when you think about their two big starters both have 9 wins on the season,
Mhm.
pitching well, very well. Both of them in Cy Young consideration, and then they're just not able to string wins together, and that's really really difficult.
Yeah, no, the Yankees, like I'm gonna be honest with you, they got more out of Max Fried this year than I thought they were going to,
Hmm.
respectfully, because like he always gets hurt.
Yeah.
You've watched him play for your Braves for a number of years. Dude's always getting nicked up here and there,
Hmm.
and like they're getting a really good year out of Carlos Rodon as well, which Carlos Rodon's a good pitcher. He's not that good, and I kind of think like
And this is
the
without
lights come.
Cole.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing is I think they're like playing above their weight class right now. They've had a really good first half from a 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt, like, and I think like Judge isn't hitting right now, and that's the thing with this lineup is if you can neutralize Judge, like the dudes like Stanton aren't scaring people anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and this is like last year they had Juan Soto, so like if Judge was struggling, you still had to contend with Soto.
Right.
And now that's just not the case anymore. And then the Mets, boy, the Mets are kind of another team too. Uh, like they had a lot of dudes to start the year that were like just pitching lights out. And I feel like the Bills kind of come and due for that as well. They're still a good team. Philly took the lead on them. They're a game and a half up on the Mets now in the division. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, no, and it's the Mets. The Mets one's kind of alarming because the Mets have lost 9 of 10,
Yeah,
which
that
is
it's very scary.
that's
Even if
yeah,
you go back and look at the bigger picture, like it was not a good month of June for them at all.
no,
And that's something that's scary because they're going right into. I mean, better now that this happens and they right the ship rather than in the second half. But this is not the way you want to go into the All Star break, which we're a couple weeks away from the All Star break, and this is what we're looking at right now. It does not look good for them. Even the Braves, who have been banged up and down, all year and stuff, started off the year really bad. They're 5 games under 500 right now,
yeah,
and they just dug themselves out. I think they were at one point 11 games under 500, so they've been playing really really well as of late. Um, and they actually took I think 3 out of 4 from the Mets, uh, which is you know really really good. But uh, yeah, it's just hopefully the New York teams can get it figured out. One thing I wanted to ask you about Otani's first pitching outing that he had. I know this happened last week, but just curious, like, kind of your thoughts on it and what you saw from him. If you're excited for him going forward, or by the way, that was the most watched game ever. I think it was.
yeah, yeah. For a
Did
guy
I?
that was going to throw one in, yeah, it was like one of the most televised games ever.
Yeah,
Like people really tuned into that.
that's
Yeah,
crazy, man,
yeah.
crazy. Um,
Um, yeah, no, he's only pitching an inning right now, and I think that's like smart. They're like slowly ramping him up. He still has the gas he's throwing. He's hitting 100.
yeah,
Um, but they don't respectfully they don't need him right now to win games. They need him. They're gonna need him in October
yeah,
because like as like Rory Sasaki's probably shut down for the year now.
Yeah.
Like, Glasnow slowly like making his way back, but like right now, like the Dodgers rotation is like old ass Clayton Kershaw and Yamamoto. Like that's really it. Like, and luckily they just have enough talent in their bullpen and their starting lineup that most of the time it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, yeah, that being said, this them winning the World Series isn't a guaranteed thing.
No, definitely
The,
not.
the National League this year is kind of a murderer's row. Like you're gonna have the Cubs, you're gonna have the Padres, you're gonna have the Giants, maybe. Like you're gonna have the Phillies, you're gonna have the Mets. Like Atlanta might be in contention. You don't know. Like
Even another team from the Central there, like that's what I was going to mention as well. Is the
like
this
maybe the Cardinals. Like the Cardinals
yeah.
keep being weirdly decent this year, which I don't understand.
The Reds are right there too, man. Like
Yeah,
the Brewers, they're in it as well. Like it's all of those teams in the NL Central. Like there's 3 teams within striking distance of the Cubs, and it's like I don't know, man. I think the Cubs are looking good, but I could see if you're telling me that one of those 3 teams is going to be the other wild card team. How am I supposed to be surprised about that? Like it's
yeah.
kind of crazy. Your guys, I don't know what it is. I feel like you talk about it and then it ends up cursing them, or cursing you. The Rockies, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. So
Fuck, I don't understand it.
I just
I
want to
don't
know
understand it.
anything you got to say about that, because
We're still doing all right. We're still on pace, but it's definitely there's a lot less breathing room now than what we had before.
yeah,
They still have a negative 202 run differential. Love to see that.
yeah, it's
They're still,
projected that they're going to finish like negative 500 in run differential for the season.
yeah, yeah, that's historically bad.
Yeah,
They're 29 and a half out of first place. So there's that.
anything can change,
Um,
man. There's time.
sure, they're 22 games out of fourth place. So yeah, that's that's something.
Yeah,
Yeah, they keep weirdly winning games, and I can't figure out the why. They had been doing this. So when I was on vacation last week, and at one point I tuned in on I think it was like a Tuesday night. It was Rockies Nationals, and I watched more of that game than I care to admit that I watched. And I watched the Rockies rally late and win it in the eighth. Yeah,
I
yeah,
the
I saw it
scary
with my own eyes, man.
I'll tell you, the scary thing is using the Rockies as the barometer for like how bad a team is in Major League Baseball. Because if looking at the standings this morning, I was seeing them, and 5 games above them, or 7 games above them, something like that, is the White Sox, and about another 5 games above them are the Marlins. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, now I can see these distinctive tiers right here. But I'm very happy to say that even though my Braves have been playing poorly, they've won twice as many games as the Rockies this year, and
Yeah,
that makes me feel a little bit better. Um,
yeah.
but one thing I wanted to ask you, because obviously being a Braves fan, I have to get your opinion on it, and I feel like you'll give me a straight answer on it. How do you think Acuna's doing?
To be honest with you, he's looked a lot better than I thought he was going to look.
Yeah,
Uh, because an injury like that's usually like a 2-year injury.
and it's not the first time that like
Yeah,
he's blown out a knee either, but like he's hitting the shit out of the ball, and I'm looking at it now. I'm waiting to see when he's going to be featured on the stats sheet, because he's batting right under 400.
yeah.
Like, and he's doing pretty well this year. I'm seeing every game. It's like, oh, he went 2 for 3, 2 for 4. I'm like, well, that adds up, and eventually, he's really doing a good job of coming back and helping them. They just need the rest of these guys to kind of get it together. Matt Olson, it really seems like that 50 home run year was very much an outlier in his career and not a consistent thing, which is very disappointing because they dumped a lot of money into him instead of
Well, they
Freddie
chose him
Freeman.
over. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think too, like Matt Olson's going to be kind of the. You see this with power hitters, where sometimes when it goes quickly,
Hmm.
And that's kind of where you're heading with Matt Olson, like, unfortunately. And you still got a lot of years left on that contract to eat. So get excited.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
excited. Um, your guy, man. Listen, I was gonna segue after the Rockies and talk about them taking a dump because it's a great segue into Big Dumper, who's leading the league in home runs now with 32. Dude, he hit
Hit one last
another
night,
one
baby.
last night. Yeah, like
The announcer for it was like, ah, he did it again. Like, oh God, I love it. I
it's
love it.
it's awesome. He could have 35, even more home runs going into the All-Star break, man. Like,
The break's still not for a couple of weeks. The record for most home runs before an All Star break's 39, and that was Bonds in '01. Like, he's got an outside shot at it.
which is
Like,
this is the crazy thing, man. No one puts him in the same tier as Bonds. It doesn't
yeah,
matter if he hits 40. No one's going to be like, "Oh yeah, like this guy's just as good as Bonds," cuz Bonds did it for years. But
yeah.
it's amazing what he's doing. It really is.
He has a shot at 62 this year. Well, 63 is the AL at 60. If he hits 63, that's the AL record, because 62 is the record currently in the AL held
Yeah,
by Judge. And he has a shot at 63, man. Like,
could be crazy.
yeah, he's more than halfway there. Like,
Very,
that's
very
it's just
wild.
wild. Like,
Yeah.
he's and I love to see it. And with a nickname like the Big Dumper, like, you love seeing big guys hit dingers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about here. I'm about big guys hitting dingers and fat guys pitching.
Yeah.
That's Yeah,
Man, I can only imagine the t-shirts in Seattle for this guy. Like,
oh yeah,
they must have some creative ones. All right, let's move on to NFL. Some of the stuff that's been going on, right? The talks with Trey Hendrickson have resumed, but which seems like good news, but really from what we're hearing is it's just same as the old. Uh,
yeah,
they still don't agree on it on the length of the contract. They're not agreeing on the amount. The Bengals seem to want to give him a 1 to 2 year deal, and well below market value, and he's not willing to accept that. And I don't blame him, man. But it just right now things do not appear very good for the Bengals, not only because of this, but also because of Shamar Stewart, their first round pick, and like the dispute going on with that. It's
yeah,
just another thing adding into that's going to drag into the season. And like this is valuable time that you need those guys in camp for, right? Like need them in the building, right? Camp hasn't started yet, but like you want them in the building, right?
right.
They're building relationships, they're figuring out schemes, all sorts of stuff that they're learning during these months, and you need them in the building for that. So I really hope they're able to get it figured out. Do I think if they sign Trey Hendrickson the week before the season that he's not gonna be ready? No, I think he's gonna go out there and absolutely destroy and kill and all of that stuff. But I think it could be very beneficial to have him there beforehand, as it's unquestioned, man. This guy's the leader of that defense, right? Like
Yeah,
the offense benefits from him being there too, right? You need a guy like that getting after the quarterback. Like the linemen need to practice against a guy like that. It just, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that is really frustrating to see with that. Um, Also, Jair Alexander, he's joined the Ravens on a 1 year deal with. I think it's going to be a max of 6 million that he's got with incentives and stuff. But Lamar and Jair actually played together in college at Louisville, so I didn't realize that until I saw it on TV. But I said, oh, you know what? That's kind of interesting. And not to mention, he's joining in a pretty loaded secondary, man. Kyle Hamilton's a dog. Like he's a real stud there. Marlon Humphrey, he's been around for quite a few years now and really played very well in this defense. But they also drafted Malachi Starks out of Georgia, who that guy he's a good ball player. So to bring
yeah.
in Jair Alexander with that, even at the age that he's at, and maybe losing a step, the biggest thing for me is he going to stay healthy? Because he did
Yeah,
not play a lot at all. And he reminds me of that guy that signs, I say that guy, but the guy that signs a big contract and then doesn't do anything after that. And
he also kind of is a weird dude too, where like he talks a lot of shit and then gets burned a lot. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
like Jalen Ramsey, where like Jalen Ramsey lately, like the last few years, talks a lot of shit and then gets torched on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
yeah,
know. I think Jalen Ramsey's a much better player than him, but he was one of the guys that they said, "Oh, this guy's a lockdown corner." And we've talked about it before. I prefer the guy like Patrick Surtain the second, who's just going to go out there. He's going to talk, but he's going to do his job and do it very well too. Now,
yeah,
granted, there's probably 10 years between the two of them, but you look at the way he goes about his business, and there's a reason he won Defensive Player of the Year. The guy is about his business on and off the field. Um, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think it's an upgrade for the Ravens, who already have a pretty good secondary to begin with. They've got a very good defense, and I think he adds a little bit more to it. Cam Akers, he signed a 1-year deal with the Saints. He's bounced around the league a little bit, but well, who knows if he's going to actually make it into the rotation they've got there. Alvin Kamara is still the go-to guy there, but we'll see kind of what happens. Kendra Miller was there. He kind of fizzled out last year a bit. And I think that happens with younger backs. Maybe it was coaching. Maybe it just, I remember Dennis Allen came out at the beginning of the season. This was during training camp, right? And said, yeah, it's really difficult to get reps if you're always in the tub. And like
yeah.
you got to be on the field to get reps, right? And he was kind of angling it at Kendra Miller, so I don't know if he's fallen out of favor with the coaching there. I don't know if he's not being coached up properly. I'm not sure what it is, but hopefully he's able to bounce back this year with a more mature attitude for it and bring more to the table. And then Jim Irsay, right? He's going to be honored in week 1 in Indy, which coincidentally would be his 66th birthday. So kind of a cool thing that they're going to do for that. I know they'll do some sort of presentation for that. Maybe they'll throw him on the jersey. That would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of jerseys, did you see the jerseys for the Chargers?
No,
You didn't see this?
no.
So what they've done for practice now is they put their accolades on the jersey, like little patches.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
I like that.
it was a really cool look, and I haven't seen other teams do that, and I thought that was a really cool thing. Maybe it's Harbaugh kind of infusing that in there, but I thought that was a really, really cool thing that kind of lets guys know and practice, gives them something to be proud about and kind of psyched to go out and practice, right? Um,
Speaking of jerseys, I did see at I think it was Fanatics Fest this past weekend. They did so they did every team, but they did it in a soccer jersey style,
ah,
and some of them were really friggin' cool, man. Like,
really?
oh yeah, like
Huh?
if you get a chance, check it out. It was so good.
I'll
Like I
have to.
loved seeing them. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I wanted one in the I wanted a Patriots one in the worst way. Yeah,
How much were they?
I didn't look because like I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
only imagine.
And it's
Like,
like, if I look, then I'm gonna go through the problem of like, well, do I buy it or
yeah,
I only want this one, and it's tough.
yeah,
Um, C.J. Mosley ends up retiring. He's played out the last few years with the Jets and stuff. Before that, he was with the Ravens, but he was a Nick Saban product out of Alabama, and just, I mean, he experienced a lot of success in the NFL. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. Like this guy was a really, really good linebacker. And I think the Jets they're definitely going to miss him this year because of that. But just want to give him a little shout out because he's been fun to watch the last few years. Even back when he was with the Ravens, it was a lot of fun watching him play there. Um, Anything else you wanted to mention about NFL football?
yeah. No, CJ Mosley, unfortunately, like just solid player. Got hurt last year, didn't play a ton.
Hmm.
You hate to see him go out that way, but dude was as solid of a linebacker as you want, man.
Yeah.
Like he was really good with some of those Ravens teams in the late 2010s.
Yeah.
Like he is a big reason they were as good as they were. Like they never got over the hump, but like man, they were all right.
Yeah. They got pretty
And he
close.
was kind of the guy that did a little bit of everything. He'd get you some picks, he'd get you some sacks, he would always force a fumble or two, like just always kind of had a nose for the ball. So,
Yeah.
well,
Definitely will be missed for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention too about NFL starting next week, we're going to be bringing you guys NFL team previews to get you ready for the up and coming season. So we'll start with the AFC East next week and kind of work our way through. But we're going to kick things off with them, and that will run all the way through the middle of August, where every week we'll have a new division for you, kind of break that stuff down and cover some of the off-season moves, some predictions for how they're going to finish on the season, and things that we're looking forward to for those teams. But yeah, man, that's about it today. Anything else you wanted to cover? Or
Nah, man, I think that's pretty much it.
we always love Big Dumper, don't we? Dude,
The
he's just
who yeah, who doesn't love a big dumper, you know?
yeah. I want to get a
Yeah.
shirt that says like "My Kid's Big Dumper" or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be some great T-shirts out there for him.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I heart big dumper.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like
yeah.
that's not appropriate. It's like whoa, hold on though.
Yeah.
It was it's socially
Yeah.
acceptable at Seattle
I love
games.
Cal Raleigh and big butts. Like, fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
That's I am who I am. Like,
Yeah,
I'm a
absolutely.
man of simple tastes.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, I think that's it for today. But listen, it's been fun. We will
Yes,
be
sir.
back, like I said, next week. We'll give you some more Major League Baseball action, cover some stuff, and then dive into our team previews that we've got, starting with again the AFC East next week. So, other than that, dude, I love you, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. Peace.
Peace.